So the thinking behind going to Greenland was that it's all part of my build-up training for my Antarctic trip this time next year. So I'm hoping to go to Antarctica to do the big expedition. So I've been building up to that for at least 3 years, maybe a little bit longer. And Greenland was a training expedition essentially. So I went there with the purpose of gaining experience at -30 or below, living out on the ice sheet for an extended period and getting used to that. And actually I might have gone and thought, I absolutely hate this is awful. So it was really important to go and do that, and it was a 27-day expedition in the end. I was with a team of 5 others, so we were a team of 6, and it was everything that I thought it might be and more. So I was expecting crevasses, there was a risk of polar bears, the temperatures were -30 and below, we had headwinds, we never seemed to have a tailwind, we had spindrift, we had Peteract storms, which are these storms which are unique to Greenland, but they're ferocious, and they're all supposed to be over by sort of end of April. So when we went in May, we weren't expecting to have any Peteract storms, but that left us in the tent. We couldn't travel, we couldn't see our hand in front of our face, never mind be able to travel. So we spent 4 days for bad weather in our tent, and yeah, I mean it was a 570-kilometre trip, and that's quite daunting initially. We spent 4 days climbing to get up onto the ice sheet proper, and then that was it. It was 360-degree white horizon. The only things you could see for weeks on end was the back of your teammate's head or pulp, or the horizon. Occasionally we saw a bit of wildlife early on, and then towards the end of the expedition, and that's how we knew we were sort of heading for civilization. There's something unique and really special about those aspects of polar travel where there's just nothing. But it's a very busy nothing, and it's actually quite, people think of it as being very peaceful, but it's actually quite noisy. There's the noise of you dragging your pulk, there's the wind noise, and there's always something to look at. You think, a white horizon, and there's, what do you look at all day, what do you think about all day? But there's spindrift, there's Sastrugi, which is this sort of wind-carved snow and ice, which forms a sort of irregular surface on the surface of the ice. And there's always something to think about. Are you warm enough? But more importantly, are you cool enough? Because when you're hauling a pulk and you're doing that for 10 hours a day, you actually generate quite a lot of body heat. So keeping cool is really important. And so all the time you're thinking, what do I need to do at the next break? So we set off in the morning and ski for 70-minute legs, and each time somebody else would be in the lead, so you just ski in a line all day long. And at the end of those 70 minutes, you'd stop and you'd have something to eat quickly and have a quick drink and then set off again. And that was the routine throughout the whole expedition. And by doing that, you can make 570 kilometres into tiny incremental chunks that eventually you kind of make that progress across the ice sheet. So there was always something to think about. What do I do at the next break? What am I going to eat? Am I going to treat myself to one of those sweets that's in my grazing bag, or am I going to have a bit of chocolate, or do I need to adjust some of my kit, or do I need to speak to one of my teammates about something? So even though it's kind of quite an empty environment, it's actually there's actually a lot going on.